Rome says the fruit of its tree is persecution. Our source. The location of our quote, its first 2 pages, within our source. Jesus teaches us that the tree is known by its fruits. He declares that a good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, nor a corrupt tree good fruit. By their fruits ye shall know them. Let us apply this test to the Roman Catholic Church. A legitimate fruit of the Roman Catholic tree is persecution on account of opinion. The Roman Church assumes to know certainly what doctrines are true and what false. But false doctrines, it says, if believed, will destroy the soul forever. If by burning a few hundred or a few thousand individuals it can save whole nations from becoming heretics, it saves hundreds of millions from eternal fire. Accordingly, it holds itself justified in so doing. Hence, by a natural consequence, come the Inquisition, Torquemada, Alva, the Bartholomew Massacre. The present Pope, Pius IX, in his encyclical letter and syllabus, declares this doctrine very plainly. In the encyclical, he says there are those who dare to teach against the doctrine of the Holy Scriptures, of the Church, and of the Holy Fathers. That condition of society the best, in which the civil power does not recognize the obligation to coerce by enacted penalties the violation of the Catholic religion, except so far as the public peace may require it. He also calls it remarkably impudent to affirm that the Church has no right to coerce the violators of her laws by temporal punishments. In the 24th section of the syllabus, he also condemns the opinion that the Church has no power to employ force, nor has she any temporal power, direct or indirect. It may be said that Catholics generally do not share this view, but we can scarcely open any Catholic journal without finding some declaration in this spirit. Thus, the Univers, the ultramontane journal published in France, speaks thus. The next 2 pages of our quote, continuing, a heretic, examined and convicted by the Church, used to be delivered over to the secular power and punished with death. Nothing has ever appeared to us more natural or more necessary. More than 100,000 persons perished in consequence of the heresy of Wycliffe, a still greater number by that of John Huss. It would not be possible to calculate the bloodshed caused by the heresy of Luther, and it is not yet over. After 3 centuries we are at the eve of a recommencement. The prompt repression of the disciples of Luther and a crusade against Protestantism would have spared Europe 3 centuries of discord and of catastrophes, in which France and civilization may perish. It was under the influence of such reflections that I wrote the phrase which has so excited the virtuous indignation of the red journals. Here it is. For my part, I avow frankly my regret is not only that they did not sooner burn John Huss, but that they did not equally burn Luther, and I regret, further, that there had not been at the same time some prince sufficiently pious and politic to have made a crusade against the Protestants. If it be thought that such doctrines cannot be held by Catholics in America, we refer to the following passage extracted from Mr. Orestes A. Brownson's Review, to show the contrary. Mr. Brownson is an American, educated a Protestant, for many years the advocate of the broadest religious liberty. If such a man as this, on becoming a Catholic, defends persecution, it is evident that nothing in modern civilization or modern education can neutralize the logic which carries every consistent Catholic to that conclusion. Thus spoke Mr. Brownson, some years ago indeed, but he has never retracted his declaration. The Church is a kingdom and a power, and as such must have a supreme chief, and his authority is to be exercised over states as well as individuals. If the Pope directed the Roman Catholics of this country to overthrow the Constitution, sell its territory, and annex it as a dependent province to the dominions of Napoleon, they would be bound to obey. It is the intention of the Pope to possess this country. In another Romish periodical, a writer signing himself Apostolicus thus confirms the bold statement of the more illustrious writer. I say, with Brownson, that if the Church should declare that the Constitution and the very existence of this or any other country should be extinguished, it is a solemn ordinance of God himself, and every good Catholic would be bound, under the terrible penalty pronounced against the disobedient, to obey. The Freeman's Journal, the organ of the Archbishop of New York, also says, "The Pope of Rome has supreme authority over every square foot of surface on this globe. His rights are circumscribed only by the ends of the earth, and the consummation," the last page of our quote, continuing, "of the ages. Persecution for opinion's sake is therefore one of the fruits native to this Roman Catholic tree. Whenever and wherever it does not bear this fruit, it is because it is feeble, and grows in an uncongenial soil. Give it strength enough, and this fruit will immediately reappear. But usually it has not been wanton. Witness the crusade preached against the Albigenses in the 13th century, by order of Innocent III, in which Arnold, the papal legate, triumphantly declared that he had put to the sword in one city 20,000 persons, sparing neither rank, sex, nor age. Witness the 31,912 persons burnt alive in Spain alone by the Holy Inquisition between 1633 and 1808. Witness the Bartholomew massacre in France, to commemorate which medals were struck in Rome by order of the Pope. Witness the horrible cruelties of Alva in the Netherlands by order of Philip II, who only lived to obey the Church of Rome and do as his confessor ordered him. Is the Church which has ordered and permitted these cruelties and atrocities the only holy and apostolic Church of Jesus Christ, who came not to destroy men's lives, but to save them? Do these bitter fruits prove the tree to be the blessed and true vine, outside of which is no Christianity? Clarke, James Freeman, Steps of Belief, or Rational Christianity Maintained Against Atheism, Free Religion, and Romanism. Boston, American Unitarian Association, 1870, pages 263 through 267.